Okay, listen, the War Within Season 2, it's been fun because it's been out for a couple of weeks now, and we've been playing loads of it. Now listen, to be honest, the War Within didn't have the hottest start, I will say, very low Mythic Plus participation by the end of the season with systems that were pretty flawed, tons of gearing confusion and struggles, lack of build variety in certain specs, and delves being very limited when it comes to progressing your character as far as you want.
So heading into Season 2, there was a lot of things that are going to be changed, right? The real question was, were these changes made for the better? Have they improved the game? That's what we're going to be talking about today, folks. My name is Lance. Welcome to the Comeback Kids.
Okay, the wait is over, ladies and gentlemen. The first official merch drop from the Comeback Kids is here. We've got two classics, our clean and bold Comeback Kids logos, but we also got the real deal. Our very first limited edition exclusive one-time drop, the Retro Goblin Comeback Kids design. And once this shirt is gone, it's gone for good. Don't wait too long because we don't want you missing out. Hit the link in the description below to head on over to the site and grab your merch to rep the Comeback Kids in style today. All right, Lance, I gotta bring it up, man. We gotta talk about the big discussion, Mythic Plus, because I would say that was on the menu for a lot of people in Season 1. It didn't really turn out how they wanted it. Dungeon pool that a lot of people didn't like, for example, missed a tier and a scythe. And this is probably where we felt the biggest shift in Season 2, right? We got a nice new dungeon pool. A lot of people enjoy most of them. A lot of changes going into the season when it comes to gearing up and getting Ruined Crest and Gilded Crest.
Yeah, I'm going to say, first and foremost, the dungeon pool feels a lot better this time around, right? Theater of Pain, that was a banger back in Shadowlands. It's a banger now. Even though it's hard, I think the Priory is an awesome dungeon. And they fit thematically with the season, right? We got the Motherlode, we got Mechagon. Then we got the crest changes with them coming at lower key levels. So that's helping out a lot. Also, just the curve of difficulty seems a little bit better. Whereas, last season, because of delves, there was no real reason to be in Mythic Plus until, that 6 or 7 mark, where you started getting those Gilded Crests, right? The curve is a lot better.
Yeah, and it's true. And to feed off of your point exactly, Lance, you are right. The Xalatath bargain and the different affixes coming in previously in the Season 1, they came in right at that Tier 7 mark for Mythic Plus, and that's where all the gear came in, and that's where you really wanted to be. But the problem is that Mythic Zeros and all the keys before him didn't prep you for that. So you got hit with all this difficulty out of nowhere, and it felt like a brick wall. Season 1, the curve, when it comes to difficulty, it was very, very, hard. It was very steep. But now, it's very easy to progress through. You eventually get those bargains. You eventually get the Xalatath stuff going on. And then you eventually lead into that Fortified and Tyrannical. And it feels very smooth. It's very linear. Now you get into that 6 and 7s. And there are slight adjustments and slight difficulty increases compared to last season. So it's been a lot of fun. And it allows you to get your crest and everything a lot easier, which then makes you get the best gear possible, which feels fun, right? People love to gear up. People love to get that gear and to head into normal raid and heroic raid and to be able to perform well. So them not limiting it and making it so difficult to access Mythic Plus at those stages was a big win for the game.
Yeah, and it's the age-old question of what do WoW players like? Do they like the game when it's hard, or do they like the game when it's easier and more accessible? And when it comes to things like Classic, for instance, it's pretty clear the WoW community as a whole does like it when the game's a little bit on the more accessible side, right? And maybe easier is not the right word.
That's a good word.
But they like it when it's accessible. Right now, the game feels like, even for people who don't have a lot of time, like myself, right? It feels like you could do everything. You can get ready for a normal raid, for real, maybe in one evening. You could be ready to go to get into a normal raid.
It's still somewhat challenging. It still somewhat takes time. And I think that's what's important. Crafting with your sparks now, it feels more meaningful, but even more efficient. That's the word I'm looking for, because previously when you first got your Gilded Crest, it used to cost 90 to get one of your weapons. They decreased that to 60, and then they also made it more accessible by lowering the Mythic Plus dungeon that you got it, and then also lowered the difficulty to that as well. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be upset and thinking that it's too easy, but the thing is that it's more accessible for the majority of player base. You have to understand the reason why the Mythic Plus participation was at pretty much a record-breaking low was because it wasn't as accessible. So they give you more rewards, and it felt better doing so. The downgrade system in Mythic Plus, that's still something that feels pretty bad,
Man, it's a roll of the dice anytime you plug in.
That is true.
In WoW in general, right? But let alone Mythic Plus, where it's like one bad pull, tank goes, peace out, I'll see you all next time, right? okay, well now this key's dead. It took me 40 minutes to get in here.
Yeah.
Not only did I fail this key, I now have to reprogress it to get back to where I was.
Yeah. Breaking that key is something that can feel bad. Just the other day, I got a group up for the Priory. In maybe about 10 minutes, I had it at a tier 7. A lot of people are looking to do 7s because it gives you gilded, gives you a hero piece, potentially. And people are ready to get in there and try to farm those gildeds, right?
Oh, yeah.
We poll in the very first poll in Priory. We gather everything up. We lust. We wipe. Literally, everyone leaves after minutes. Literally on the very first poll. So it's something that can happen anytime. What do you think about them maybe implementing some sort of penalty or lever system to something like this? Do you think that's something that they could add?
Yeah, so, levers in Mythic Plus, and it's been like this since Legion, right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Blizzard still has not implemented anything to help this problem. They're making the game so easy for everyone to play now, but this is still one of those things where it's like, we could just leave. There's no penalty for this guy who could just... He's ruining 4 other people's time because of what? One bad poll?
And the thing is that person that has the key is the one who's suffering the most.
Yeah.
Like, they brick that key, they then have to run a brand new dungeon, get back to that point, and then try to run it again. It's a problem. So the question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is, do you all think there should be some sort of punishment for leaving or intentionally bricking a key, whatever the case may be? Should there be some sort of cooldown? What do you all think they can do to fix that?
So next up, I think I really want to talk about delves, right? And what they did for the changes in Season 2. In Season 1, I'll be honest, it was my favorite content to do. Even though it did feel like you completed them, like you were done with them for me after like week 2.
Yeah.
It almost felt like there was no point of doing them, right?
Yeah.
You could do your 11s to get those achievements and things like that, but as WoW players, we care about the loots. Now, the fact that you can get your gilded crest from those 11s, right? It feels like, even as a solo player, maybe it's not the most efficient way to gear, but you can gear.
Absolutely.
Right? And as someone like myself, 50 hours a week at work, wife, child, I'll do a quick 11. It'll take me 25 minutes. I'll get my 11 done. At least I progress my character somewhat that day. Whereas even in Season 1, and don't get me wrong, delves were amazing in Season 1 and they helped me keep up to a point where I could do those normal and heroic raids. I was kind of capped out. Really, okay, I don't have no need for delves anymore. It's all right, I guess I'm doing my heroic raid for the week and that's it.
It's true. At one point in the Season 1, it felt almost like a repeat grind to only get to a certain point. You were stuck. You can only do 8s. There was no, real progress beyond 8s. But now with those new changes, they increased the amount of rune crests you could get every tier past tier 8. And additionally, at tier 11, you get those up to 21 gilded crests a week. Another big change that I really love, Lance, for the alternate characters is summoning that underpin boss whenever you want, as long as you have the coins. You get that consumable from the Delver's guy in Dornagal, and then you take it to the Delve, you summon him at the Hearthstone thing, and you get a guaranteed hero piece, and it's very easy. You're not really fishing for those maps anymore. It's very straightforward. So Delves, you have a chance to get Gilded Crest, which can upgrade to the best gear in the game possible. You get a free hero piece every single week, and then you have your champion loot from the Bountiful Delves. They are kicking butt. What do you think about them adding the new Delve variants and maybe the story and lore potentially behind them?
I didn't expect them to change anything about Delves going in from Season 1 to Season 2, but literally night 1 before you could do the 8s, me and you went into a couple of those and it was like, wait a second, this is a different boss.
3 different stories, and then also they added the underpin mobs in there as well. And it's not just one enhanced mob, no. There's like 4 or 5 variants of the underpin mobs that you fight. So each encounter could be potentially different. So with Delves, man, I'm going to be honest, they gave story variants. They upgraded the rate at which you can get loot, making it more accessible to the casual player. You can get some of the best loot in the game. What else is there for Delves?
I will say there were a couple of new things they added to Delves, like brand tanking.
Yeah.
He was godly the first week before they nerfed him, and now it feels like they made it very clear now that if you're not a healer, they don't want you playing brand, right? He's pretty much useless. But it was nice to have a little bit of variance. Maybe I didn't want to have to go and run around collecting those potions. To heal myself, right?
I do have to say, Lance, it's just kind of crazy how much better so far in Season 2 with those 2 premier contents, just being Mythic Plus and Delves, how much better everything feels across the board this season. It's really crazy, right? Like, when was the last time were you this positive about retail WoW heading into the next season?
Yeah, right now it just feels good whenever you log in. It feels like there's something to do,
all
right?
the time.
It feels good to log in and just whatever it is, whether you're doing your Delves, your Mythic Plus, hell, even your raid, right?
Yeah.
So these minor tweaks they made to the game in general, man, the game right now, it really does feel like it's It's
Money.
firing on all cylinders. Like,
Money.
I'm very happy with it, and I can't wait for the future right now.
Yeah, and listen, I gotta stop you on Mythic Plus and Delves, because how hype were you when you went into that raid? Because this raid feels like a throwback to when raiding, like, actually meant something. Like, we got a brand new renown track inside the raid. The bosses feel good to fight against. They're very thematic. It's fun. It's engaging. All of the mechanics inside of there feel very different from each other. It is so much fun in there. This raid, honestly, might be one of my favorite raids of all time.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how I feel about it going into week 5, week 6, week 7, and as the months go on. Like, how does it feel when it's on farm? It's easy to enjoy a raid while you're progressing it. So far, we've cleared normal, we're going into heroic. I don't think I've liked a raid this much thematically since who knows when. Maybe Nathria?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, the bosses are cool. The fights make sense. The theme is there. The story and lore hit. For the majority of players, I will say, everything is hitting right where it should be when it comes to a rating standpoint, because there were some points in season 1 where you would have a big gap in gear and you didn't know what to do. You were doing this weird dance. But now with all these new systems, it helps us get into that raid, and you can get it going and have a lot of fun and get into the premier endgame content, which is group content, raids, and delves.
Yeah, 100%. And you kind of hit the nail on the head. The casual and the mid-core audience right now, we're eating good, right? Just goes into like alts right now, feel better than ever. And obviously going into the War Within, they added the Warband feature, which that has been a godsend to the game as a whole. And I think that it can only benefit the game. It's not classic WoW anymore, right? Where it's a one character game. The way the game is designed now with the seasonal nature, people want to play multiple characters. They want to try out different things.
Yeah, and by the way, Blizzard wants you to play multiple characters. They got Warbound equipment dropping nonstop. You got the new raid boss in the Undermine zone that you can go there. You get a free piece of champion loot. Delves are very, very easy to complete up to a certain extent. You get your keys fast, free hero piece. I mean, Lance, I have like 5 alts right now that I'm playing, and I'm having so much fun because you have multiple hero talent trees, single target AoE builds. There's tons of variety. The class balancing feels good. I mean, you can legit hit mid-level Mythic Plus and Heroic raids in a few days if you really, really push it. You can jump from 590 to 630 in a few days, and it's amazing. The catch-up systems feel smooth. They feel fast. The crests, the sparks, the delve rewards, everything's flowing in and just makes it more accessible for everybody. And I think that's what retail World of Warcraft is really missing in the last few expansions: accessibility.
You could play with people of all skill levels because the gear is easy to get, right? And I think that feels really great.
Exactly. With Season 2 of The War Within, it's more accessible than ever to jump in, play the game, enjoy the content, and try things out. And I think that's what retail World of Warcraft has needed. And honestly, what it's really needed from, my personal perspective, Dragonflight didn't really do this too well. But the storytelling so far, this expansion, has been really, really juicy. We got to give a little love to the story section and what they've been doing here, because it is pretty damn solid. This season feels like World of Warcraft again. We're not off on some crazy space adventure. Everything just feels so right, I'd say, in World of Warcraft right now.
We've spoken about this countless times, right? Like, it does feel nice for Season 2 to be kind of like a coming home patch, right? In not the sense that obviously the Undermine, we've been there before, but in the sense that it's down to earth, right? It's a contained story, and Zalatath was there, and you have the ethereals and all that, but it is a down to earth zone. You're fighting goblin cartels, you're fighting thugs, and it's not, like you said, it's not a world-ending threat. It's a manageable threat, and it's like they sprinkled in the Zalatath. She came here, she showed her face. We saw that she is a human villain as well, right? She's not just some, and as a lot of people have been saying, like mustache twirling jailer who always wins no matter what. She gets frustrated. She does lose. She did fail.
Yeah.
And now it's like, whoa, who are these guys? Now you have this ethereal who came and got the dark heart. And it's like, now I'm interested. Who is it? Exactly. Who is this guy? He just came out of nowhere.
Exactly.
He showed up, stole the dark heart from Gallywix, and now it's like, wait, he wasn't working with Zalatath?
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they gave us a nice little surprise at the end. And I like when things aren't so cookie cutter and you know what's going to happen. We all knew who the jailer was. We knew what his plan was literally from the beginning. And this right here, we thought we knew something, but they pulled the rug right from underneath us. And there's a lot more bigger things at play that tied with the goblins and the Undermine so well. So honestly, I've been really, really impressed. So to be honest, I've been kind of shocked at how much I've been personally enjoying Season 2. Listen, we're a few months into The War Within, and this is probably the best retail WoW has felt for me in years. It's weird to say, but Lance, do you think Blizzard might have actually pulled this one off so far?
It's a little early to say. I want to see how the epilogue of Season 2 goes in 11.1.7 and beyond. For the modern expansions, this is easily the best expansion since Legion. This expansion keeps going the way it's going. We're going to have an uncomfortable conversation as a community of where we're going to rank the War Within in the all-time list.
I agree. I think it's up there for me too. And listen, the Season 2 of The War Within is an absolute hitter right now on most cylinders. There's a couple critiques here and there, of course, that me and Lance have and the community has, but I love to see that Blizzard is improving literally week in and week out with the changes. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we do our podcast live here on YouTube as well as Twitch. We have the post right up here if you want to check it out. You can see a lot more content similar to this. Not only that, we will be posting content more like this, so if you enjoy it, let us know about it in the comment section below. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.